Greetings, good people, and welcome back to Black Comic Characters. This is Donnelly Jones II, aka Solly Two Kings. I just wanted to share with you a few books that I received from eBay that I got off online, and some of them are pretty significant, so I just wanted to share these with you. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on the YouTube machine, been a little busy, so it's good to be back and good to be talking with you. So, stay tuned. So I've already pre-opened these boxes, and all of them were well packaged, well taken care of. I will say, I think I've said maybe this before, but I have not had one real bad experience with eBay and their shippers. I think there was actually one that could have potentially gone really wrong, but it didn't, and I addressed it with the person. The person understood, and I'll share that story with you later. But overall, I know people have had some negative things to say about eBay, and there is negativity out there on eBay. But for the most part, all of my transactions have been extremely positive. I haven't had one big book, one issue with incorrect orders, and also kudos to USPS, because they have delivered all my books in great condition, and I've seen some of the horror stories out there. Danny Girl had one that was just like, I know there's a God, because that comic should have been damaged in that book, but in that box. But yes, so let's get to it. So the first book I got because I am a 90s kid, and back in the 90s it was all about the foil. All about the foil. We were like ravens back then. If it had foil, you had to get it. Holograms, had to get it. So this one took me back straight to my childhood. This is the, here we go, there you go. This is the Oliver Coipel variant of Static Shock Season 1. And that's just absolutely fantastic. Look at that shininess. It's like, had to get it. So, this next one here is another Coipel variant. It'll look very familiar, because it is the same book, but this is the one per store sketch variant. Not foil, but still a sketch. And the sketches have been absolutely great, man. I mean, I don't know why, but I think this might be the decade of sketches, because there's a lot of sketches out there. So it seems like the sketch thing is the current iteration of the foil thing back in the 90s. But this is absolutely fantastic art. Fantastic art. The story has been going very well. I think we're on issue 3, if I'm not mistaken, and it has been going pretty good. I am very impressed by still impressed by the stories of Static, Hardware, and Icon and Rocket. My favorite has been Icon and Rocket, though, because that storyline has been pretty deep. I really like it. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed all of them, but Icon and Rocket, that's the one that has really piqued my interest. This next one here was great art, but it has a little bit more significance, especially for anybody from Pittsburgh. Wonder Woman Black and Gold. This is exclusive variant. I think there's 3,000, if I'm not mistaken, of these that were made. I think there's a virgin cover of this variant, and that's absolutely fantastic. But I couldn't find that one. I really just got it because it said black and gold. I'm from Pittsburgh. My logo is black and gold. What are you gonna do? This next comic here, if I'm not mistaken, yes. This next comic here, we're going to change BCC standing for Black comic characters to Blue comic characters. Everybody who knows me, especially back in the day, knows that I was a big Star Wars fan. Huge Star Wars fan. My mother took me to see all of them when I was little in the theaters and absolutely loved it. When they came out with parts 1, 2, and 3, I was so excited. I took my mom, I took my mom at the time to go see it just because it was, something special. And yeah, we weren't necessarily pleased with that. All due respect to those who made those movies, but it was definitely lacking a lot that I felt was not in the original. So, and I still felt that same way about these last parts, 7, 8, and 9. So, I was like, what are y'all? It's Star Wars. You cannot ruin Star Wars like this. It's just like, not ruin, but it didn't have that same impact as New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. So I was like, okay, so fast forward a little bit to when the Clone Wars appeared on television. I dismissed it. I'm like, it's for kids. So years later, I think I saw it on Disney Plus. Yeah, so it was like maybe a year, maybe 2 years, 2 years ago. I was like, let me just see how it is. First episode, I was like, yeah, this is for kids. Let me just watch it again. Second episode was a little bit more interesting. Third episode, more interesting. Fourth episode, more interesting. Fifth, and it kept on going. And I was so impressed that it brought me back to that same feeling that I had of the original series. And I was just so impressed by the Clone Wars. I'm like, this is what it's about. The storyline, the story arc, yes, they had much more time to develop story arcs, characters, all that stuff than they did in, parts 1, 2, and 3, and 7, 8, and 9. But at the same time, the impact of 4, 5, and 6 still had that same impact that those shows that show had, the Clone Wars. So I was like, this is absolutely fantastic. Ahsoka Tano and other new characters that they introduced, absolutely fantastic. So fast forward a little bit more. Then I watched Rebels, and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Not too bad. I like the setup. I liked it very, very much. But then there was a character that was introduced, and I was like, yes. And that is the character that I have the first appearance of. Grand Admiral Thrawn. I was so impressed by that character. And anybody I collect Marvel supervillains. I have a long box full of Marvel supervillain first appearances. I'll do a video on that later. But to me, without a great villain, you do not have a story. You do not have a story. Without a great antagonist, you don't have a good story. And that's just my opinion. But the villains have always been a grabbing point to me. Those the ones that draw my attention to as to how they do things. What is their thought process? That's why I really enjoyed Infinity War. I mean, what they did with Thanos was very good. Very different to me. It was very different from the comic, but I loved what Marvel did with Thanos. And of course, Joker, Darth Vader, Green Goblin, Magneto. You have all these great villains, and Grand Admiral Thrawn is definitely a great villain. So that is why I got Star Wars: Heir to the Empire #1. Not, I don't have a lot of Star Wars comics in my collection. I just never. I don't know. I think like when I was younger, it didn't have this. I didn't think it translated as well as the movie, So I just really never collected it. That's one of the reasons why I never really collected Transformers. I love Transformers, absolutely fantastic. But to me, the translation from the cartoon to the comic was, I don't think it was quite the same. So I never collected them. So Star Wars, of course, is very hot right now, and but the villain is why I picked this up. So glad to have this in the collection. Let's see. Okay, we got 3 more here. This one here, you've heard me say sometimes you have inspirational buys. This one was definitely an inspirational buy because I had seen it like maybe once before, and I was like, I kind of glanced past it. But then Almighty Liger King put one of his copies up on Instagram. Great guy, absolutely fantastic. So this portion is dedicated to you, Almighty Liger King. I saw this and I was like, yeah, I think I saw that before. So now that you've put this up, I need to see if I can procure a copy of mine, of one, and I did. There you go. This is the Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, the Jurjevic edition Virgin facsimile. This is not the original. So, but this was, I really enjoyed this. And when I saw Almighty Liger King's post, I was like, I gotta find a copy of that. So, Almighty Liger King, thank you very much, sir. These last 2 go together. They are significant for a couple reasons. Of course, this year has been a focus on Black comic characters as far as my collecting is concerned. I've just kind of noticed that I've been trying to procure more first appearances of Black comic characters, comics that have significance for Black people in the comic book realm. And this one I was looking for a little bit, but I'd never got the opportunity to actually find one that was decently priced. But thanks to the power of ebooks, I was able to get one. And if you're an eBayer, ebooks can help pretty much with those kind of sizable purchases, and this one actually helped in this case. So I would like to show you my copy of Green Lantern Green Arrow 76. Art by Neil Adams and Jack Adler, and written by the great Dennis O'Neil. Actually, they're all great, but unfortunately we lost Dennis O'Neil last year. Jack Adler back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. But we still have Neil Adams, who's been posting up good stuff on Instagram. His live streams are absolutely great. They're hilarious. But this book, of course, is significant just in comic book history in general, for a lot of reasons. it brought in a lot of social issues into this comic, and this was a turning point for Green Lantern because before this it was just Green Lantern, and the sales weren't doing so well. So they decided to bring in Green Arrow and have a significant portion of this comic be dedicated to social issues that were happening back in 1970, of course. This was the aftermath of a very turbulent decade of civil rights, the many assassinations, many killings of both black and white people who were fighting for civil rights. So just definitely want to remember, those who came before, so that I can actually be here to do this. But this was a significant comic in comic book history, so I'm glad to have a very, very nice copy, in fact, of this in the collection. And lastly, we have issue number 78, again by Neil Adams and written by Dennis O'Neil. This has some significance as far as drugs are concerned. So this was not, it's not, high up on significance as far as 76 is concerned. However, I feel that, both of these have definitely have impacted a lot of people in the comic book community and in society as well. So yeah, so that is it. I just wanted to share those with you, and again, I apologize for being away so long, but I am back again, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until the next time, peace and many blessings.